And welcome back, everyone, to Sunny Peak, Rivera, California, for our mid-season showdown here at Psychototal Collectibles. My name is Jesus Coronel. Alongside me is Dennis Geisler. We are here for round number 2 of this mid-season showdown. And on the screen, we're going to have Abhyu Vatsavai going up against Victor Pham, if I said it correctly.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this one. We have first Roaring Moon of the day. Haven't seen a whole lot of Roaring Moon, particularly in regulation.
Okay, it's Pham.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. I am sorry. Victor Pham.
Yeah, Abhyu with that booster speed Roaring Moon, one of the faster tailwinds that you can get without being Prankster. And then on Victor's side, the Alola Ninetales. We'll just read through the whole teams.
Yeah,
on Abhyu's side, it's Urshifu Rapid Strike, Moongus, Golden Go, Roaring Moon, Incineroar, and Iron Hands. On Victor's side, King Gambit, Gouging Fire, Chien-Pao, Ogerpon Wellspring, Alola Ninetales, and Dragonite. The Alola Ninetales is what I was interested in on Victor's side. Only the Chien-Pao benefits specifically from the snow, getting that defense bonus, but the Alola Ninetales will be able to set up the Aurora Veil. It's holding Light Clay, so it'll be able to do that for all the Pokemon on its team.
Yeah, you look at Victor's team, you know, you had the Chien-Pao Dragonite core, obviously. You also have a potential core with Ninetales and Chien-Pao with the Snow plus Aurora Veil. You also have Gouging Fire, King Gambit, Gouging Fire. So much of Victor's team just messes with each other, and then you have Abhyu with a pretty good balance team that has an emphasis on trying to get off those nasty pots out of that Gold Dango, as well as get that tail in for things like Urshifu and Iron Hands. You know, you have Incineroar and Moongus as your more like defensive pivots. Roaring Moon can do damage with that Breaking Swipe. We've all seen that for a fact, but how does he handle Aurora Veil?
Yeah, I think Abhyu has nothing that can overturn the snow or break the screens. So we'll have to see how he decides to play around this. There are certainly ways to play this out a little slower or a little faster. There are 2 Fake Out users, a Spore user. Golden Go can set up nasty plots. There are lots of ways to play this out a bit slower and bulkier and wait out the snow or the Aurora Veil, even though it will last quite a bit with the light play.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about what we assign the trainer cards right now. We're going to have Abhyu and Victor go on here. Abhyu's side of perspective, we're going to see Victor send out Ogerpon, Wellspring, and Gouging Fire. Abhyu brings in the Roaring Moon Iron Hands, so we got a Paradox lead against a Paradox and a Ogre. We have Roaring Moon coming in here with that booster energy speed, so it will be the fastest thing in play as of current stands. Gouging Fire also going to activate that booster energy, and I believe this is also going to be speed, and it is going to be speed, so Howl definitely is an option for this Ogerpon, but Fake Out also an option for his Iron Hands.
Yeah, I believe Roaring Moon will be faster than the Gouging Fire here.
I mean, we saw those faster based on the item activations.
Yeah, that is true, actually. They both have the Breaking Swipe available, both with physical attacking partners, as well as being physical attackers themselves. Of course, the Gouging Fire could get up the Howl, try to boost the Ogerpon back up, but the Ogerpon feels like the odd one out in this setup. Doesn't really have a whole lot of good damage to output right now.
Yeah, that's just not what's going on right now, because we see this Ogerpon, you know, it does threaten some damage on this Iron Hands, but it's not doing much to this Ogerpon. We are going to see the Roaring Moon go first without a tailwind and goes for that Breaking Swipe outright, so if Victor wants to get damage on, he needs to put on the gas pedal on that Howl if he's going to go for it. No, he's just going to do the same thing, going to go for the Breaking Swipe. Unfortunately, his got weaker because of that Roaring Moon.
It did, but it's still going to provide that attack drop.
And here we go. I think there's a good chance to crit here, so just guess it off. That is not a critical hit, and Iron Hands takes that considerably well. Drain Punch just put Ogerpon to half, and I don't think it's a bad turn for Abhyu.
Yeah, certainly pretty good for Abhyu. Definitely, I mean, lost less HP and ended up in a pretty good spot, all things considered. You definitely don't want to... You don't necessarily want to let this go on for too long, but you have to feel good if you're Abhyu on the spot that you're in right now.
I feel like if you're going for Breaking Swipes, that's a pretty open slot to go in for the Ninetales, because it does it is immune to Dragon moves thanks to that Fairy typing that it has.
Frankly, it won't. The Breaking Swipe won't mean much to it in general. It's not a super powerful move. Hits both targets. Would just be a -1 damage. But in any case,
it's hitting the dragons for each other super effectively, which is like the damage, which is the worry thing for both these players.
Yeah, especially if it is able to crit through the attack drop at any point.
Yeah, we are going to see the Ogre switch out here for Victor. Wants to preserve that attack and potentially get into a better situation. Kingambit might be a better situation here, but we saw the Drain Punch come out last turn, and if Abhyu goes for the Drain Punch in the same slot again, this might be pivotal as we see Burning Bulwark come out from this Gouging Fire, and I think Breaking Swipe is a contact move, meaning I think Roaring Wind might get burned here.
Yeah, and would be also a Defiant boost for the...
Yeah?
Yeah, there's the burn, and then it should also proc the Defiant on
this is going to be so little damage to that Kingambit. It's going to give it a +1 attack boost, but did the Iron Hands go for the Drain Punch into the Kingambit slot? Because it went for the Ogre Bond the last time. No, it's just going to be a Wild Charge.
Oh, that's tough. If it was a Drain Punch, it would have been a really nice turn for Abhyu. As it is now, this is a very difficult turn for Abhyu and a really nice turn for Victor. A really nice call, just predicting that the Drain Punch was not going to come out again, that it would have been a swap out from the Iron Hands or something like the Wild Charge. And now, with the +1 Kingambit, you can really start laying down some damage.
Yeah,
it's got the Dread Plate too. It's seriously boosted Dark type moves.
Yeah, Victor's Kingambit is a pretty resemblance towards the popular player Luca Treju, who always uses that Terra Dark Kingambit with a potential Black Classes / Dread Plate, which gives his Dark type moves a lot of power and potency thanks to that Divine boost got from the Breaking Swipe. And it's an interesting interaction that Breaking Swipe still connects, gets the burn first instead of getting it after.
Yeah, it really might be worth it. Yeah, I was going to say, it might be worth it to Terrastalize your Kingambit right now. Yeah, I've got the boost, let's go.
Another thing is, you are still weak to Drain Punch, but at least this is now a singular weakness, and you still have the Gouging Fire going for that Breaking Swipe, meaning it gets weaker and weaker.
Exactly.
Knockoff is going to go into this Kingambit doing no damage, but will knock off that Dread Plate away from that Kingambit to lower its Dark type damage output. Breaking Swipe does connect to both Pokemon. Considerable damage to that Roaring Moon. Iron Hand's still taking almost really pitiful damage at this point. And what does the Iron Hands go for? Okay, Iron Hands went faster than Kingambit here. Does get the Drain Punch off. Now this all is on what Dark type attack. It has to be Kowtow Clee, but what did it target?
Yeah, I really don't know.
Target's Iron Hands.
I feel like the Iron Hands is the better target here, but yeah, you're seriously not doing all that much damage to it. And the Iron Hands is actually faster than the Kingambit. This thing is very slow.
I had to wait.
So now you're actually in kind of a difficult position if you are Victor. The Drain Punch still does damage to you. The Kingambit, even on a tiny bit of health, is still valuable because it has that Sucker Punch pressure, but...
This might be the Howl turn, I'm going to be honest.
This could be the Howl turn. It is not a bad turn to Howl.
Kingambit is going to take this turn to safely get out that Protect. Roaring Moon that's going to tail us now. Abhyu's going to have the speed control for at least for free turns. There's the Howl coming out, meaning Gouging Fire with the booster speed is faster than Iron Hands. I mean, obviously we know Iron Hands is slower, but we are going to see the attack boost come out to both Pokemon, Drain Punch into the Kingambit. But it's still, I mean, I think you're lucky to going into Sucker Punch if you're Victor, you got to go Sucker Punch if you want to at least get some damage, or you might have to swap out.
I don't think you want to swap out your Kingambit at this point. You've sunk cost fallacy, but you've invested a lot in this Kingambit. I think you have to... I don't know. I think a Breaking Swipe should weaken Drain Punch enough to not knock out.
Yeah, there's Sucker Punch. It's going to be at +2 with the Terra. Yeah, it's not going to knock out the Iron Hands. Oh, that's actually pretty close. Well, I'm pretty sure a double up to finish it off. Look at how little damage that knockoff does.
Yeah, that knockoff does.
Heat Crash. I mean, Iron Hands is very heavy. Yeah, oh, this could be enough to take the knockoff.
Heat Crash will definitely do it, even with how heavy Iron Hands is. Just a comically heavy Pokemon, Gouging Fire.
Yeah, Heat Crash, if you don't know at home, it's the fire type version of Heavy Slime. The heavier you are against the target, the more damage it'll do. And it technically was enough damage to get the knockout, and now it comes to Rapid Strike Urshifu for Abhyu. I still think you're stuck using Sucker Punch if you're Kingambit.
Yeah, I think you're stuck using Sucker Punch here, but that's not a bad spot to be in. And there's really nothing, because this is a Choice Scarf Urshifu, so it only has attacking moves. So you have to feel pretty comfortable using Sucker Punch into that slot, because the worst thing that'll happen is a switch out.
And now we gotta wonder how much damage output this Urshifu has, because it is Choice Scarf. It might be able to outspeed this Gouging Fire should it be trained properly. Sucker Punch goes out here. Who did it target? It targeted the Urshifu. It wants to get the damage out right now. That's half. That's half damage on that Urshifu. Breaking Swipe is gonna come out now. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're confident enough that you're okay, that's a pretty big critical hit on the Gouging Fire.
Yeah.
Defiant will activate again, but I'm pretty sure Abhyu's confident this Urshifu is faster than this Gouging Fire.
I am not confident in that at all, because the Gouging...
Oh, it is.
Okay, well, never mind then. If you say so, Urshifu Rapid Strike.
And down goes Kingambit. That's one down for Victor. the fortunate thing is you can just go into Ogerpon and then you either force a switch out or you force a mind game where it's like, you want to go for follow me and get the water absorb, or do you want to take that kind of the gouging fire?
Yeah, I was going to say, the problem is this will be at least one knockout, and the attack drop on the Urshifu doesn't mean anything, but...
Until Ogerpon comes in, actually.
Yeah, well, until the Ogerpon comes in. It doesn't matter in general. Urshifu can't do anything else this game.
That's an Amoonguss in the back. I think all damage... Oh, it's caught. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Ogerpon actually walls his Urshifu from this point forward.
Yeah, the only damage move against Ogerpon at this point is the Amoonguss Pollen Puff.
Yeah, out comes the Ogerpon. It is going to have the benefit of redirecting Surging Strikes, meaning this Gouging Fire is pretty safe to do whatever it wants to do, even with those attack drops.
Yeah, this is kind of the freest follow me Ogerpon of all time.
And it's, no, you can't really follow me in a Pollen Puff to your own partner because he gets redirected to the Ogerpon, meaning it's going to take damage, but it's going to get Water Absorb recovery. Yeah,
that's the thing. I think this is just overall the free. I don't think a Pollen Puff should KO from this range.
After the Water Absorb?
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. And the Urshifu literally cannot do anything else.
No, it cannot. How much HP does Ogerpon get back with this Water Absorb? That is, okay, I think that's around 25% health we got back from pretty much a Citrus Berry. Howl comes out into this Gouging Fire. Once again, enough damage to power up that Heat Crash.
Yeah. At this point, you're kind of just like waiting here.
How much damage does Pollen Puff do? That's actually a lot more than that's a lot more than the...
It's more than I expected.
Than the Water Absorb recovery.
That is more than the Water Absorb recovery, but still, I think at this point, if you are Victor, you can try to finish off the Urshifu and let an Ogerpon or let an Amoonguss try to beat your Gouging Fire.
I mean, we saw how little damage that Breaking Swipe did to that Urshifu. Well, before, obviously, the Howl boost.
There was already a Howl boost, and I think a Heat Crash will certainly
How many Breaking Swipes did Abhyu get away with? 3? I forget.
Like a lot. Like a lot, but also Howls came back in the other direction.
Interesting move that Abhyu's going for Rage Powder here. I mean, yes, you go for Rage Crash, right? Heat Crash here. That's a lot of damage to that Amoonguss. We'll take a bit damage back to that Rocky Helmet. Surging Strikes, unfortunately, gave Ogerpon a free turn of recovery without taking damage from Pollen Puff.
Yeah. I mean, it's not totally free because it means that Ogerpon doesn't get to do anything because it's follow me, but yeah, I don't think that Abhyu can do much. This is the probably #1 reason why Ogerpon Wellspring has risen so much in usage is because so many Urshifus at this point are locked into Choice Scarf because that's the only way they can outspeed Ogerpon, and if an Urshifu locks itself into Surging Strikes, which is the move it wants to click so badly.
And now you're in a situation where Amoonguss is gone, and follow me for the rest of the game means that Abhyu is checkmated.
Yeah, it's literally no way for Abhyu to get out of this one. But that's the thing with this matchup is the exact reason why Wellspring is so good.
There's a reason why Ogerpon Wellspring is within the top 5 Pokemon usage from both from Portland, Charlotte, and Liverpool.
Yeah.
And we are going to see Abhyu forfeit the battle. I wonder what he was thinking about during all that time, thinking about how to counteract with Victor's team, because we obviously saw that he didn't need much to get going, and once he got the Kingambit in pretty safely, I think Abhyu just couldn't find an answer in time. And by the time that he did, he was in a situation where he lost out on that Roaring Moon, and he was in a situation where you unfortunately had a Surging Strike Urshifu hitting a Water Absorber.
Yeah, exactly. I do wonder what the play is from Abhyu here. I think it is not a bad idea to try to get Urshifu in there sooner as the Choice Scarfer against an Ogerpon Wellspring, because you can U-turn if you see a bad matchup, or just switch out and get a different move, which is really important.
And if you're Victor, I really just think you can stick to the same game plan unless you're confident enough to bring in that Kingambit turn 1, which I don't think you pretty much are, because you saw how much damage that Iron Hands was able to do before the Breaking Swipes initially got on.
We might see a lot of switch-ups this second battle, because the first one was a lot of Breaking Swipes early on, and I wonder if both sides say, yeah, I wasn't super happy about that, let's try something a little different. And again, we did not see the Alola Ninetales that last battle for
Actually,
Victor.
We didn't even get to see Victor's 4th Pokemon, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I believe you're correct. We only saw the Kingambit, Gouging Fire, and Ogerpon, yeah.
And that gives Abhyu a lot more trouble because although he has the open team sheets, he doesn't know how these Pokemon are trained.
Yeah, exactly, and doesn't even know what Victor's strategy was in the first game. If you don't know what Victor's strategy was in the first game, you're not gonna.
I mean, technically the strategy was Gouching Fire control.
Yeah, you don't at least know the full strategy. You don't know what would have come in last if was able to get through that end of the team. Both these players are at 1-0 here in round 2, so looking to. 2-0 is a pretty good spot to move forward from in this MFSS. We do have 6 rounds of Swiss, so it is a lot. And there are a lot of people here.
Yeah, this is almost a sellout crowd here at Pico Rivera, California. You know, maybe it's a precursor to the upcoming regionals that are coming up. I mean, Vancouver's coming up in a couple of weeks. And this is really good honor for people that are trying to get CP in order to get their trip to Honolulu, Hawaii. You know, always a great pleasure to invite to a World Championships here. Let's see what these leads are for these players. They're going to switch it up a little bit, bringing in the King Gambit. I mean, Gouching Fire and Chien-Pao is the lead. I'll be also switching it up with the Roaring Moon and Urshifu Rapid Strike as both these booster energy speeds trigger.
Yeah, and once again, Roaring Moon will be the fastest thing on the field. Sucker Punch is available, but not going to do much against either of these Pokemon. Sacred Sword ignores the targets.
It only ignores the target's test changes, unfortunately, meaning it will get weaker.
So it will get weaker with Breaking Swipe. So this Chien-Pao's in kind of an annoying spot individually, although if an Ogerpon comes in from the back for Victor, it could really blank this Urshifu if it goes for a Surging Strikes, which would be its way to kind of knock over that Chien-Pao. So it's a little bit of a dangerous game for Abhyu, but the upside's really high.
I actually have to think this Urshifu's actually the Chien-Pao's gonna be the slowest thing in play as of right now. I gotta say that much.
It has to be,
Yeah, is there seeing that Victor withdraws Gouching Fire? Maybe there's something he didn't like here. He's calling out a Surging Strikes.
Yeah, I think you had to call that one way or another, and the question is whether Abhyu figured that out.
Double switch actually for Victor. He didn't like either Pokemon.
I like the double switch, to be honest. I think it is one of the better options.
Okay,
yeah, I like this.
If this is close combat, though, that's not good.
It's probably not going to be close combat. It might be close combat. Abhyu could read it and go for a close combat.
But what is this Terra for Abhyu here going to be? Oh no! Oh god! Did he call the Terra correct? Did he call the Ogerpon correctly?
Which one was which slot? That is the big question here.
This probably signals Surging Strikes into the Gouching Fire.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to be a Surging Strikes, but it could have gone into the Chien-Pao. It wasn't 100% going to be the Gouging Fire. It might have been the Gouging Fire.
Ah, it was!
It was the Gouging Fire.
Absorbing the water is going to be Ogerpon's job, and that's a nullified turn for Abhyu. You committed your Terra, you got your turn of Tailwind in, but now you cannot really go for Breaking Swipe.
At the very least, if we're trying to go on the positive side, you force the Ogerpon out. Now the Ogerpon might have to switch back out of the battle, come back in. This is just an awkward spot for Victor to be in, and yeah, you're not totally forced to go for a follow me there. I think you could have read the switch out because there was no real other option. I like that though, to pull away the knockoff.
Sword Stance comes out!
Yeah. Now this is a really nice spot for that King Gambit to be in. Still, I think it does have to Terastal right now. And even then it'll be in a little bit of danger, but it's not a bad spot to be in. I think you still have to follow me with the Ogerpon, which might open up the what Pokemon is that? Urshifu. Might open up the Urshifu to come back in and win the late game of this battle. King Gambit really has to be in charge of everything here.
No Terra came out. I think this is a double protect coming out from Victor. It is. Yeah. Okay, so we get to stall a turn of Tailwind at the very least, meaning there's going to be 2 turns of Tailwind that Victor has to play off here. Knockoff tries going into King Gambit to knock out that Dread Play, and I think that's also going to be a Drain Punch into that slot. And that probably does signal that King Gambit's the problem and probably needs to Terastallize for just 1 turn at least, but
yeah.
I guess your question now is how safely can you switch into the Gouching Fire for potential howls towards the later game? Do you try to say that for the Chien-Pao?
I don't think you can switch out your Ogerpon right now, because even if you Terastal, you probably get run over by Knockoff plus Drain Punch. Because this Iron Hands is at full attack. Like, it's still going to do a bunch of damage. I don't know how many of those you can take.
So I mean, I guess Follow Me is an option to at least redirect the damage, but
that's the thing, is that you're then going to lose the Ogerpon as your answer to Urshifu. So this is a really tough spot for Victor to be in right now.
Yes, because you have all the committal options with that Sword Stance, with the Dread Plate, and the potential Terra Dark. Yeah, this is just
like
hard.
Victor just hasn't done any damage yet.
Yeah, we are to see the Okamon switch out on unfortunate status. I think this is going to be Gouging Fire coming here. No, going in Chen Pao. Sword of Ruin's going to go and play.
Yeah, the Sword of Ruin might actually be the difference maker, trying to see if a +2 Sucker Punch with Sword of Ruin is able to do it.
Never mind. We're going to see another double switch.
Or not.
No, but like I think this is safe enough to do because you got to preserve King Gambit for the later stats because you know it's going to be an answer. Like, obviously, it's not the answer for...
I get what you mean. You have to do damage to the other Pokemon, and Victor isn't doing any damage to the other Pokemon. The Tailwind is stalled out, but Roaring Moon has a free Tailwind opportunity right here. Like, what is the downside of Roaring Moon going for a Tailwind right now and getting the Tailwind pressure up again?
I think this does also just signal that Victor's win condition is that King Gambit Ogerpon duo in the back, but it's just like, if you look at Abhyu's team, I mean, yes, we have Terra Water Urshifu in the back. Yes, he can go for close combat to at least redirect that option. Chen Pao protecting to make sure it doesn't go down to a Focus Sash immediately, but that does leave Gouging Fire wide open for an attack. No, we're just see Bulwarks trying to burn something.
Maybe hoping to see a breaking swipe here. And actually does get it.
Well, that's just unfortunate. Now you get, this is a double up into the Gouging Fire. That's 2 Pokemon burn with doing nothing.
That's actually true, yeah. If this is, this could be 2 burns here, which could be a nice out for Victor to at least keep some of these Pokemon in the back healthier.
Drain Punch comes out into the Gouging Fire!
Wow. That's a nice call then there. Because
that actually makes the game a lot easier for Victor because both these Pokemon doing less damage output. Maybe you can get away with going for breaking swipes from this point onward. Chen Pao might have an easier time going for stuff like that. Let me look here. Ice Spinner.
Yeah, it certainly does. But at the same time, I still think this is a decent turn to Tailwind. If you're, I don't know. I think Tailwind would be nice to get up as pressure here, because otherwise you do have to worry. I guess you have the Choice Scarf Urshifu in the back, so it doesn't care about Tailwind, but it's always nice to have that speed control, especially against a team that's like kind of slow-ish.
Oh my goodness, that burn actually mattered on the Gouging Fire.
Does take 1 hit.
What are we going to get here as the option? Ice Spinner into Iron Hands. This might do a decent amount of... That's a critical hit.
Critical hit. That is big.
Breaking Spike comes out into both these Pokemon, still doing a good amount of damage. Iron Hands gets weaker. Drain Punch probably signals at least a Focus Sash on the Chen Pao or a knockout onto this Gouging Fire. It will opt to knock the Gouging Fire before it can get a chance to do more Breaking Swipes or Howl.
I think on one hand, that's a good decision. On the other hand, this can be... This is a pretty free switch in for King Gambit right now, I think.
Yeah, it can't just go Terra Dark with that attack drop and then set up another Swords Dance.
It doesn't even have to Terrestrialize. Iron Hands is absolutely gone this turn. It will be taken down by Chen Pao, and King Gambit can just Swords Dance for free.
And that's gonna be and that actually gives Victor back to square one.
Yeah, and that's the thing here is that I wonder. Hey, does Tailwind Iron Hands beat?
We saw it didn't.
Chen Pao? I don't think it does.
We saw that it did because Chen Pao went before the Iron Hands.
Yeah, this is a very slow Iron Hands. Even as far as Iron Hands go, this is a pretty slow Iron Hands. So I think Iron Hands is just kind of gone, and King Gambit will get the opportunity to get a Sword Stance up again, which is really big for Victor. It is. This is certainly that Burning Bulwark play really.
Oh, he's Terrestrializing.
Okay, I guess.
I wonder if Chen Pao goes to avoid Drain Punch. No, it's going to be King Gambit the Dark. You are doing this for the damage output, or if you really are just not confident in Drain Punch doing it.
This could also be a play for a double knockout this turn.
Oh, it could be. The Sucker Punch comes out.
The Sucker Punch Ice Spinner will knock out both
with the Sword of Ruin, it will be enough.
Yeah, and you might say, yeah, with Sword of Ruin now, with the Focus Sash up for Chen Pao, with these Pokemon all at full HP, this is a fine spot to be in because you do have the double priority and the Chen Pao to just be Chen Pao. It has the Focus Sash still.
Well, now it comes down to this. He's off
it doesn't have the Focus Sash. That was a lie.
Oh, it's a Lucas in the back as well, so we're back to the same situation as game 1 before, where Ogerpon, you saw the Ogerpon, I think you're forced to go close combat with this Urshifu.
I think you are, yeah, which isn't bad because it's super effective against the Pokemon you see here, and it's the only thing that hits the Ogerpon.
And the other problem becomes you can't really Sucker Punch in front of the Urshifu because Rage Powder can just take it away and do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Although at this point, since it is Terra Water Urshifu, this King Gambit has the opportunity to just like Kowtow Cleave or something. Because the Chen Pao is so much more threatening right now The Amoonguss actually might linger a really long time. I think the Amoonguss might actually be the biggest threat from Abhyu right now. Well, it's going to be kind of difficult to take down that Amoonguss.
I have started to wonder if close combat's going to be another knock on the King Gambit, because obviously with the quad weakness it was going to, but
yeah,
we don't know how these Pokemon are trained at the very least.
I think one this turn has to be targeted into
Wait,
the
never mind. I just realized Sword of Ruins in play. It might not get the chance to survive.
Yeah, well, I think it's got to be targeted at the Chen Pao right now. Because otherwise it will just destroy that Amoonguss, and that's your only out, I think, if you're Abhyu, is having that Amoonguss around. But still, this means that you're taking a semi-free Kowtow Cleave, but it will go into the Amoonguss. I wonder if it's not a bad turn to Sword Stance. Yeah, okay. Kowtow Cleave is fine.
How much damage is this doing, though? It's going to be doing at least half. Okay, that's enough for a 2-hit knockout.
Way better damage than I thought it would be.
You're in a situation where you got to go close combat. I don't think this knocks out Ogerpon, in my opinion. I mean, obviously we got to see the HP count again, but
yeah, Ogerpon's on most HP. And
I don't know. I'm not sure if we got a game free here or Ogerpon survives another hit and gives King Gambit enough time to go for Sucker Punch.
This will be close. I think King Gambit. King Gambit has to finish off the Amoonguss. I think that's the number one thing, and I think Amoonguss does Rage Powder here.
And if it does, then you probably just need to go Kowtow Cleave and the Urshifu to get damage on, so that you can get. Well, actually, I just realized you can't Rage Powder an Ogerpon, so Hornleech is pretty free here. But
it is.
Urshifu's Choice Scarf, so yeah, there was two sides of the coin, and the coin is Ogerpon's going down. Now this King Gambit has to knock out this Ursh.
Yeah, I think it's going to be how much the close combat does.
No, actually, if you get the knockout here with the Kowtow Cleave, I think Victor just wins the game.
Yeah, it'll be. I guess it's a question of how much.
It is Kowtow Cleave, and this is going to be targeting on that Amoonguss. That's enough for the knockout. Now the all-important question: does Terra Dark Sucker Punch with Dread Plate knock out a -2 Terra Water Urshifu?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the answer is yes.
I think it is yes as well. I think you're right.
I can't believe Victor played that to perfection, you know.
Yeah.
Saving that King Gambit towards the later stages of the game that actually got him to the point where we can see the potential comeback factor with this Sucker Punch. It is enough, and Victor Pham wins 2-0 over Abhyu Vatsavai.
I was obviously a non-believer at certain points, but Victor certainly got out of that one and really well played around the King Gambit, even without any boosts from the Defiant or the Sword Stance, was certainly able to get out of that one and find the win condition. Really impressive, really, really impressive.
Yeah, King Gambit showing why it's still a powerhouse in the regulation format, you know. Maybe sometimes you don't need Defiant, maybe sometimes you need to go all in on the dark damage output. Yes, you're going to probably get rolled into fairies like Flutter Mane. If you get Sucker Punch off, though, that is your ticket to victory.
Yeah, exactly. And before we go away, we have a very exciting giveaway here.
If we may be allowed to present them. I'm not sure if we were allowed to show them on the camera just yet. If production can give us the okay on that.
Yeah.
But in case nobody wants to know, we have these manga gifts we're going to give away here. We have XY here, we have a couple here for Pokemon Journeys here, and finally a couple from Pokemon Black and White. And all these mangas are going to be given away in just a few moments, as we're going to get a giveaway wheel on the screen very shortly. Somebody's going to win all 5 of these manga booklets.
Get out of the way for the wheel.
Okay, here we go. You see all these players that registered in the wheel? This could have been you if you could have came out to this MSS. And now we're going to see who gets to win all 5 of these manga pieces.
I can try to spin it. Hey, there we go. I did it.
You actually got the spin. All right, the winner of the giveaway will win all 5. The winner of this giveaway will get all 5 of those mangas, and the winner, as we're going to get the spin here, it's going to be, I believe it's going to be Alexis Harrison. It just stops Christopher Patino. He's going to win the manga.
Yep, Christopher. Nope, Christopher.
Christopher Patino wins all 5 of those manga booklets. And he's in the bathroom. Oh, well.
And he's in the bathroom.
All right. Well, congratulations to Christopher for winning the giveaway. And we're going to be cutting it off for round number 2 here. We'll be back with round 3 shortly.